At 50 degrees below zero, the land does not welcome visitors. The air itself feels solid, brittle enough to snap with every breath. Sound travels strangely here, carried across vast white distances, then swallowed by silence. The sun rises low and weak, casting a pale glow that never fully warms the frozen ground. This is a place where time slows, where every movement is deliberate, and where mistakes are punished immediately. The cold settles into everything. Wood creaks and contracts. Metal burns bare skin. Eyelashes freeze together after a single breath. The horizon stretches endlessly, a flat line separating white earth from a washed-out sky. In this environment, survival is not dramatic or heroic. It is methodical. It is quiet. It is repeated every day. Here, people do not fight the cold. They live inside it. Morning begins long before comfort returns to the body. Inside a small wooden home, frost feathers the window panes from the inside, delicate patterns shaped by breath and warmth trying to escape. The fire has burned low overnight. The temperature indoors is still far below freezing, but it is survivable. Thick felt boots stand near the door, stiff as carved stone. Fur-lined coats hang heavily from wooden pegs, each one carrying the smell of smoke, animal hide, and winter air. Eating comes first. At minus 50 degrees Celsius, food is fuel, not indulgence. A simple meal waits on the table, frozen fish sliced thin, chunks of meat preserved by the cold itself, dense bread that must be warmed carefully or it will crack apart. Fat is essential here. It carries energy, warmth, and life through long hours in the cold. Nothing is wasted. Every calorie has meaning. Outside, the world is already awake. Dogs lie curled in tight circles, their tails wrapped over their noses. Steam rises from their breath, drifting upward before vanishing. The snow beneath them squeaks softly when disturbed, a sound unique to extreme cold, created when ice crystals grind against each other like dry sand. Work cannot be delayed. At minus 50 degrees Celsius, hesitation is dangerous. Whether the task is herding animals, repairing equipment, or traveling across frozen land, preparation determines survival. Layers are added slowly: wool, fur, leather, each one trapping air, each one sealing heat closer to the body. Skin is covered completely. No gaps are left exposed. The cold waits patiently for carelessness. Movement outside is measured. Steps are short, steady. Sweat must be avoided at all costs. Moisture freezes instantly and steals warmth from the body. Tools are handled with thick gloves, reducing dexterity but protecting flesh from metal that can tear skin on contact. Even simple tasks require focus. A dropped object can vanish into snow, and searching too long can numb fingers beyond recovery. Animals are central to life here. Reindeer, horses, dogs, each one adapted to the cold, each one essential. Their breath hangs in the air like smoke. Ice forms on their whiskers and fur, yet they endure. Herding them across the tundra is slow work. The land offers little shelter, only low hills and frozen riverbeds that cut across the white expanse. Rivers are dangerous even in winter. The surface appears solid, frozen thick by weeks of deep cold. But currents below never stop moving. Ice forms unevenly, and knowledge passed down through generations determines where it is safe to cross. One wrong step can mean freezing water rushing upward, soaking boots and clothing. At minus 50 degrees Celsius, wetness is a death sentence measured in minutes. Food preparation continues throughout the day. Meat is stored outdoors, frozen harder than stone. A knife strikes it with a dull sound. There is no rot here, no decay. The cold preserves everything. Fish pulled from icy water freeze within moments, their bodies stiffening before they touch the ground. They will be eaten raw, boiled, or dried, depending on the need. Eating is unhurried. The body requires constant replenishment, but digestion slows in the cold. Warm tea is treasured, sipped carefully so lips do not crack. Salt and fat balance the diet. Vegetables are rare, brought in when possible, preserved for months. Freshness is a memory, not an expectation. As the day advances, the light barely shifts. Shadows stretch long and blue across the snow. Wind begins to rise, gentle at first, then sharper. It cuts through clothing seams, finding weak points. Faces are shielded with scarves and fur hoods. Only eyes remain visible, scanning the land. Work continues regardless of weather. Equipment must be checked. Sleds repaired. Animals fed. Every routine is shaped by experience, refined by loss and survival. There is no room for shortcuts. Here, tradition is not nostalgia, it is instruction. The cold shapes emotions as well. Isolation presses inward. The silence can feel immense, almost physical. Voices are rare outdoors, carried away by wind. Inside shelters, sound returns softly, the crackle of firewood, the scrape of boots on frozen floors. These small noises bring comfort, proof of warmth and life. Midday passes unnoticed. Hunger returns quickly. Another meal, similar to the first. The repetition is deliberate. Familiarity brings stability. In a world where nature offers no mercy, predictability is a form of safety. A journey begins across open land. The destination is not far by distance, but at minus 50 degrees Celsius, distance is measured in time and exposure. The sky remains clear, a deceptive calm. Breath freezes instantly, forming ice inside scarves and collars. Eyebrows grow heavy with frost. Each exhale leaves a visible mark, then disappears. The snow reflects light harshly. Eyes narrow against the glare. The cold seeps inward, testing layers, probing for weakness. Movement keeps blood flowing. Stopping too long allows stiffness to settle into joints, making motion painful, then impossible. Suddenly, the wind shifts. Clouds roll in low and fast. The temperature feels as though it drops further, the air growing sharper. Snow begins to move sideways, lifted from the ground and thrown across the land. Visibility shrinks. Familiar landmarks fade. This is the moment of risk. Navigation becomes instinctive. Direction is held by memory rather than sight. The wind roars steadily now, flattening sound and sense alike. Ice needles sting exposed areas, forcing heads down. Each step forward is an effort. The body burns energy rapidly, heat bleeding away into the storm. Shelter must be found. A low structure appears through the snow, barely visible until close. Wooden walls rimed with ice. The door is stiff, frozen in place, but yields with force. Inside, darkness and stillness. The wind's roar dulls instantly, replaced by silence so deep it hums in the ears. Hands shake as gloves are removed. Frost is brushed away carefully. Firewood is stacked near the wall, dry and ready. A spark catches, then another. Flames grow slowly, fragile at first, then steady. Warmth spreads inch by inch, returning feeling to fingers, toes, faces. Outside, the storm continues indifferent. Hours pass inside the shelter. Food is eaten quietly. Snow melts into water near the fire. The body recovers, heart rate slowing, breath deepening. Survival here is not dramatic, it is patient. Waiting is as important as moving. When the storm eases, the world outside is transformed. Snow lies smoother, softer, reshaped by wind. Tracks are gone, erased completely. The sky clears again, pale and distant. The cold remains absolute. The journey resumes, slower now, more cautious. Fatigue lingers, heavy in muscles and bones. Yet the rhythm returns, step after step, breath after breath. As evening approaches, the light dims almost imperceptibly. Smoke rises from distant homes, thin lines against the sky. The return brings relief not expressed outwardly. Inside, warmth waits. Food waits. Rest waits. The day ends as it began, with fire, with nourishment, with quiet. Clothes dry near the hearth, steaming gently. The cold presses against the walls, relentless, but held at bay for now. Outside, the temperature will fall further through the night. It always does. Sleep comes layered in blankets and fur. Breath slow, body conserving heat. Tomorrow we'll repeat these rituals. Eating, working, moving through a frozen world with care and knowledge earned over generations. In this place, endurance is not measured by strength alone, but by respect for the land, for the cold, for the fragile balance that allows life to continue. In the world's coldest land, survival is not an act of defiance. It is a way of life.